Hey folks, this is Michelle. Welcome back to my channel. Uh, what we're doing today is a quick speed build of a shell, actually. And you might be thinking like, okay, why is she doing 10 minutes of video sped up to do a shell? But I thought it would be really interesting. I know when I watch speed builds, what I want to see is sort of the choices that builders are doing. I want to see, the roofs that they start and reject. I want to see the shapes that they kind of start and commit to and then realize halfway through that they aren't working. That's what I find interesting, and that's how I learn. And so I thought it would be really interesting to sort of provide my own version of that, which is this is sort of a shell on commission. This is a collab that I'm doing with the wonderful Empaw. I will put her information in the description. But this wonderful friend, Meg, who is doing a 100 baby challenge and is having her family switch houses. So I said, yeah, you love to furnish. I love to build. I will make a shell for you. She requested Gothic. And so that's what I'm trying to give her. It ended up being much more Gothic revival than straight up Gothic. But I still like it. It still has that weightiness of stone and sort of the Victorian trappings and all that kind of stuff. So I'm pretty pleased with it. I wanted it to be a practical place for her as well as to kind of fit that Gothic style. And yeah, the more I look at it, it's totally not like old school Gothic at all. Not at all. It's symmetrical. It has that high central gable. It's super Gothic revival, but I think Megan will forgive me. She's already told me she likes the build. The other consideration I needed to put in here was that, 100 baby challenge is a lot of babies. You got to have room for 8 Sims at every point. So I am not sure I accomplished that, but she's going to add a basement, which I think will make it a lot more useful for what she's doing, while still kind of maintaining the look that I wanted to give her. In terms of the struggles that I was talking about, you'll see me fiddle a ton with the porch, with the roof, with the eaves, with sort of how it all looks together. And, I do a lot of figuring out which roof works better. And if you've ever struggled with roofing, I do too. I don't consider myself a whiz-bang builder. I consider myself a simmer who really likes to learn and draw from all sorts of sources and learn from streams and videos and everything. And so I try to take what I've learned and break it down. I'm a kinesthetic learner, right? I got to break it down and build it up for myself. And I love doing that. That's one of the real joys of building for me is the problem solving aspect of it. And, kind of figuring out when you use a flat roof and when you use a hipped roof, when you use a gable roof. And yeah, you'll also see me struggle a lot with the color scheme, really. I wanted to use the blue and brown. Meg describes herself as a kooky furnisher, which I love. She does great stuff. But, sometimes Gothic is not that whimsical. So I wanted to just give her a place that at least had an interesting color scheme on the outside, even though it's dark gray and Gothic, that at least there would be a little whimsy in there that she could maybe run with. And the Victorian items from Strangerville are just so beautiful. They're so beautiful. Okay, and I did a lot of do I want to do one story with one treatment? Do I want to do the other story with another treatment? How in the world do I want to do this? It's always fascinating to figure it out. And you can see here me working on getting this roof right. And honestly, porches and covered porches are difficult. They are. It's difficult to figure out which roof types kind of fit for what you want. And then how do you shave away the rest of your roof to make it work right? And so you see me doing some of that. Basically, you have to physically mark. You have to turn into their own room all the spaces that you want to maintain as the roof shape and then carve the rest away. But you do definitely have to carve off into different rooms what you want to keep. And then you'll see, that was not a tutorial, by the way, that was just me philosophizing. But there are amazing tutorials out there about how to do all of this. Let's see. And you're also going to see me drawing a fence underneath that roof. if you can see that the frieze is not on the porch at this time, it's hewing close to the house. If you make a fence under that roof, I usually use these City Living flat one that you can't see. Then once you fence that in, friezes will only cling to surfaces that have a roof or a fence above them. So roof, fence, room, anything, but something real above it. So once I put that fence beneath the actual roof, then I was able to have the frieze cover the whole thing and give it that kind of unified look that I really wanted. It's not, the porch shape is not great. It's not. It's a weird little pillbox. It's like an Altoids box with a Gothic revival house on it. But seriously too, we're playing a game. And this is for a very specific use and a very specific type of gameplay. And I wanted to give her porch room. I wanted to give her balcony room. I wanted to give her little nooks and crannies. I wanted to give her enough room to slap kids in there. I had to watch it. I had no idea what I was saying there for a sec. But yeah, ways to really utilize the space to have 8 Sims in it of all different ages at all times. And like I said, she's going to use a basement for some of the larger and wackier items in this house's, or in this family's story, like a bowling alley. I did not build room for a bowling alley. Right, and again, you'll see me changing things, right? As time goes on, it's like, okay, all right, I'll do a flat roof. I'll just do one of the regular roofs. Okay, no, I'm going to do a half-hipped roof. So I don't have odd seams showing between roofs. It's those kind of deliberations that I think take the most time with actual building, not furnishing, building. And, you know, what colors work best. And I'm still not sure that I picked the right window colors. I'm not sure if that brown with blue would have been better, but I wanted something to contrast against the heaviness of that gray brick. I kind of like it. Like I said, the porch is wonky, but I like it. And then I also, and this is a common tactic of mine, I like to have auxiliary buildings on site as well. I think it's so neat to have a little like shed or greenhouse, or in this case, maybe a playhouse, whatever Meg thinks she can use it for. But I wanted to make another little building that's reminiscent of the main building. You can say, when it kind of goes still there for a minute, that's me staring at the build with my head tilted to one side, looking at it like, what do I do with you? And I struggle a lot with the windows here. It's like, okay, I want windows that don't get lost in a medium height wall, but I don't want the really big ones or the fancy ones. Yeah, so there's a lot of poking around and then finally deciding on the very Gothic windows. You know, Gothic's very characterized by those pointed windows. And I finally, I think after staring at this for a little bit, yeah, trying, rejecting, repainting, trying, rejecting, repainting, deciding that looks bad. It's too much for that little space. Oh, should I try these again? No. Should I try those again? I don't know. And then finally adding these very particularly Gothic windows to give it sort of, on the side at least, that extraordinarily Gothic look. But then you have this auxiliary space that you can spread out into, or, you know, use for all sorts of purposes. I will be sure to put gallery information in the description, and I hope that you'll keep an eye on Mpa's social media to see what she does with the build as well. I am so grateful that she trusted me to make a home for her 100 babies. Well, I think she's already had 33 kids, so, you know, for her 67 babies. But I genuinely had a great time, and I'm looking forward to seeing what she does next. Thank you again, and I will see you for my next video. Bye-bye.